Life is a journey full of challenges, and sometimes it can be a challenge to make the right decision. Hi, this is Sundar Raj from Francis Xavier Engineering College, Department of Information Technology of 2020 batch. This 4 years of engineering journey taught me many lessons. This is the platform where I found myself. My department faculty guided me in the right way to choose my domain. On my second year of engineering, I got IBM certified on predictive modeling, which helped me to choose my domain as a data scientist. And of course, I have done many projects on data science, which is related to the real-time projects and helped me in a way to get placed in my major. Of course, college means degree and degree means job. Thanks to Francis Xavier Engineering College for providing me a best training regarding the placements, which helped me to get placed in car technologies with the annual CTC of 5 lakhs and also in Cognizant with the annual CTC of 4 lakhs. Being in Francis Xavier Engineering College is like staying on the road to the Damascus, where you can gain the required knowledge to achieve your goals. Thank you.
Hello and good morning all participants and the speaker of the day and all of you present here. This is Subhalakshmi, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Information Technology of Francis Xavier Engineering College. I, on behalf of Francis Xavier Engineering College, Department of Information Technology and Alumni Association, accord a warm welcome to all of you for this webinar session today. My heartfelt and warm welcome to the speaker of the day, Mr. D. Venkatesh, Senior Developer, State Street Corporation, Bangalore. He is a proud alumnus of Department of Information Technology of 2014 batch. We are very happy to have our alumnus as speaker today on the topic of launch your career in database technologies. We welcome you, Venkatesh, for this session as a speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Pleasure is mine. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. So, thank you. My heartfelt welcome and welcome to all the participants who have registered and joined for the session today. Hope this session will be of most useful to you and welcome you all. And today's topic is on the webinar series of opportunities in IT, information technology. So today the topic is launch your career with database technologies. Hope all of you might have known the importance of database technologies. So wherever we go, data or data science or data analytics. So data plays an important role in the career of an IT professional or whomever that may be, not maybe an IT professional. To whatever stream it belongs to, data plays a very important role. So we have chosen a topic and Venkatesh is here to let you know about the future of opportunities in IT as well as launching your career in database technologies. He'll give you some insights on database technologies as he is a database developer and administrator too. Okay, so over to the speaker, and I would like to post few instructions to the participants. Kindly mute your audio and video. The questions may be posted in the chat box, and whatever queries you may have, that may be answered by the speaker at the end of the session. Over to the speaker. And before that, I would like to introduce the speaker to the audience. I invite Ms. J. Monica Esther to introduce our chief guest speaker to the audience.
A warm good morning to one and all who are gathered here. It's my immense pleasure to introduce the alumni of our department, Mr. Venkatesh, who has completed his BTech IT degree from our college during 2014 academic year. Very warm welcome to you, Venkatesh. He has completed his degree in our college, and during the year of study itself, he got placed in Tech Mahindra, and he worked for Tech Mahindra nearly for 5 years in various back-end tools. And now currently he is working in State Street Corporation, Bangalore. We welcome you, Venkatesh. Thank you for accepting our request and accepting to address the gathering. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Monica. Over to the speaker.
So am I audible? Is it fine?
Yeah, yes, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Just let me know once you are able to see my screen. I'm just
Yeah.
presenting it.
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. Oh, hello everyone. It's really happy to see you all here in this wonderful morning. It's a great pleasure to be here with you all today. So first of all, I would like to thank the FX management and the professors who invited me for this session. It is great pleasure and honor for me. So, so in this session, what you are going to see is all about like what is IT industry, what is actually happening inside the IT industry, how to enter into the IT industry, and how to prepare and build the career inside the IT industry, and obviously like related to database, what all technologies are there, what all opportunities are there, and the future technologies also. I just would like to convey some ideas what I'm having right now. So before entering into that, I already they introduced myself, so I think there is no need of self intro. So let me just go into like first IT industry. So as we all know that it's life is full of like applications and tools only. Like now everybody, almost everybody is having a mobile, at least on laptop, or at least a mobile. So everything is all about applications. So IT industries mostly creates these applications and tools. So there are two types of IT industries are there. One is like service based companies, and one is product based companies. So what is mainly about product based companies is all about like you guys know, like Google, Microsoft, Oracle. You may know big companies are there, and some unknown companies also there. So they do create their own applications, and they provide it to the users uh, for the use. So those are companies called the product based companies. So on the other hand, there is a company service based companies. So the service based companies, they are working for other people. Suppose in a sense, suppose if I'm able to explain, the product based companies like Google and Oracle, everybody is having their own applications. Like suppose if you take Google, Google Maps is there, their own products are Chrome. There are a lot many services available in the product based side. And service based companies, in the sense, suppose what they do mostly, like if you're going to a bank, suppose if you take an Indian bank, so you are going there will be lots of applications which will be used. You would have seen that if something goes wrong, they will say that we have to call to TCS or Infosys support team who is working into this one. So what they actually do, like that applications which they are using it in the banks or other industries, so those things will be developed by some other companies, and the support and everything will be given by the service based companies. So companies like product based companies, as I said, these are some companies you can see. These are major companies which is product based and service based. There is a lot many companies are there. So so what actually happens, suppose if you're going to a product based companies, what they are expecting, and if you're going to a service based companies, what they are expecting. So if you want to a product based companies, so what they're expecting is to be a full stack developer. You need to know everything, like to create a application, getting the requirement and creating the full application and handing to the customer. That is for end to end. You need to know from the front end perspective. You need to know from the database. You need to be the administrator. You need to know the server detail, server, where to host, how to build it, how to prepare it. From getting the requirement, delivering to the customer, everything you need to know. So that is what a product based company is expecting. So you should be a full stack developer. You are knowing everything. You cannot just say that I know only Java, I know only the backend, or I know only the server side, little Unix command, and these things only I know. You cannot say all those things. You need to be more equipped. You need to have more skills. Then only you can go into the product based companies. So service based companies, in the sense like we know, like Accenture, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, what all most of the companies what you see, these companies are service-based companies. So what they do is, so they are all participate into the bid. Suppose if a application is developed by some companies, and they are handovering to their customer. Suppose this one. So there will be a bid. So every companies will participate in that one, and they will get a contract like for a 2 years or 3 years. So we will monitor, or we will work on everything. We will support it. We will work on the enhancement things what are all coming right now. So what they do, suppose if you take Tech Mahindra or TCS or Infosys, they have TCS have taken one application of Indian Bank. So what they will do that all 2 years, if they have taken for support and development or everything, so they are the full responsibility for that. So if they are facing any issues, if an Indian bank, if you are going, server is down, so what they have to do, they have to go to the companies, the TCS, they will call and they will be looking into it. Okay, server is down. Okay, we will check that. Suppose, and the other thing is like development side also they will work on. Development side in the sense you can say this is already developed. So what you are going to do? Say this already developed application. In the development side, what they will do? So it will be kind of enhancement works they will do. So enhancement works like there are right now it is working on already, the application is working. Suppose if you are going to if they feel that on the go, if they want one more page or some other features which will ease their work, so what they will expect, they will tell to the team who are actually maintaining it. So they get all the requirements. So what are all the things we have to do, and then we will work. The replication of the application will be there as a development or a test environment. So you guys might not know, but so what is a development and test environment? Like the production which is actually working by the customers are the live environment. It's all of code. We cannot directly go and change it in the production environment, right? So there will be a lower environments where the replica of codes will be there. Suppose if I'm getting a requirement to enhance something, so we will actually develop it first in the dev environment. We will test it. Is it everything working fine? Then we will move to the test. Is it work? There will be a testers. So there will be automation things will be going on, because the enhancement thing is the most toughest thing done creating from the scratch actually, because you are going to touch something which is already existing. So you should not affect the already existing code as well as the new feature which you are going to introduce, that is going to be work properly. So that is the most toughest job you will do. So the development environment, we will develop it and we will move it to test. If everything goes fine, then we are going to move it to production. So this is how the product-based, the service-based companies works out. So is it only development? What else things are there? There are a lot many things are there. So they do support as well. Suppose okay, production, we have made some changes and put it into live, and which is useful for the production user, end-to-end user right now. So suppose if there is any problem comes, the server is not working, or the functionality which newly created is not working, the customer is facing problem. This is the real-time application, right? So they do reach out to the support people. They should actually take into that. Like if it is a simple issue, they will look into it. Else they will forward to the development team, and they will get all the things and they will get back to the customers. This is how they work. And the other hand, there are testers. So who is actually ensuring that the development which are all done by us is working as expected. So like so what is better? What you need to know to enter into a companies, like it is better, I would suggest you guys to be a full stack developer. So why to be a full stack developer? Why just knowing that a Java or Oracle or something? So full stack developer in the sense you are knowing everything. Suppose if you are taking a front end, so some front end technologies needs to be there, Java or .NET or PHP, whatever you may be. You can learn something which is to create the front end, and the back end side you have Oracle and lot many MySQL. These things are there. So SQL is the base, and you can learn that. And server side, as you have developed everything, you have to host it somewhere in the servers and the files. Suppose if you are attaching something, so everything is going to be in the server sides. So the Linux and some server based technology also you can learn it. So this is all about, right? Suppose if you're taking an application, so it is going to be hosted in the server, and you will be connecting to the database to save all the datas and the servers. So this is how they are asking you to learn these things, like the Java things. So you need to create the front end first, which will be visible to the users to see what is that application all about. So the database things is the backend and file servers. So for an example, just if you take this as an example, so it's a simple login screen. So where you can see username and password is there. The backend, I have just saved all these passwords and user IDs. So first you have to know to create the front end. You need to create the front end. So you have to know Java or PHP or .NET, and a lot many front end technologies are there. If you know that, you will be able to create it. And then you will be able to create the database side, like how you are going to store your data. Suppose if I am giving username and password, I'm going to store it somewhere in the database, and while giving the, suppose I have entered the username and password, I'm giving into the login. So what is actually happening is we are going to the database, fetching for the given user ID. So what is the actual password which is getting stored? We are getting it, and we are just comparing it. And if it is fine, then only it is allowing you to move to the next one. So this is how your it is opening. So for the freshers, what I will suggest is like create some small, at least on small applications, or you can use your projects, like final year projects, to create some small application. If you couldn't find anything, or if you couldn't invent anything big, it is good to have a small, at least a small project where you are understanding what is actually front end, what is actually back end, and how it is actually working. So if you start exploring it, you will get something interesting. So once you get interested to it, then only you are actually starting to become an IT professional. So once you know this front end, back end, these things, you will automatically get that interest to get into the IT. So first thing you can, I will suggest you guys to do. So suppose if you're entering into this one, once you enter this, some example I have given, like this is a medical application might be. So as I said, in service-based companies, what they actually do, like suppose these are all the modules you are able to see. Suppose if they want one more module along here, so what they used to do, they gather all the requirements, how it should be, how it will be useful to us. They all gather the requirements, and the requirement document will be shared to you. So what companies will expect, like two things can happen. One is like if anything goes wrong in these applications, you need to find out where it is actually causing the issue. So you need an analytical knowledge. So this is not working. So how to go from the backside? There is some error it is throwing, or it is not coming. So why it is actually happening? For where it is causing issue, you need to know this analytical little analytical knowledge you should have. And creating a new one, you should feel something interesting to create something. And this is the thing which actually the IT companies are expecting from a fresher. So they know they are recruiting from all the departments, not only from the IT, they are taking from all the departments. So what they are actually expecting is from a fresher, they know this a little bit only we can expect. They cannot be experts. Once they enter into the IT companies, they can learn a lot. So actually, like from a fresher point of view, from an engineering student point of view, we will have little bit idea only. We will be not having any idea like what is actually the IT industry is doing and how to prepare for themselves. But once you enter into the IT companies, you will go into some domains, or you will get some idea how to grow ourselves. So I will suggest you guys, like if you are a very good developer, you are already having a lots of interest in creating the applications. So I know I have already prepared myself for the creating applications. I'm good in front end, I'm good in this thing. I'm an all-rounder, full stack developer. I would suggest you guys go and check out lots of product-based companies are there. If you still don't have any ideas, you guys can go for the service-based companies. So they are expecting you the basic programming languages. you need to look like any front end little basics and Java and SQL, you can say, and the servers based things, because compared to the product based companies, in the service based companies the work will be little less, and you can, once you enter into it, they know it, they can teach them and they can take into that. So it is better, you can choose your way, anything. And suppose if you didn't get placed in any of these things, still you have a way, you can go to the startup companies where you can start it. And if you get at least 2 years of experience, then you will be get placed into big companies. It's very easy, guys. Don't just leave it because I didn't get into big companies or something like that. I have seen lots of people who have come from small companies and they are doing excellent works actually. So this is what actually they from the freshers IT companies expecting. So let me go to a database side. So as I'm working in the database side, I am a database engineer. Just let me tell you something about the database. So it is not, database is not only just an SQL query, insert and update. As we all know that when we are thinking about database, just an insert and update, creating a table, what else is going to be, what we are going to do it in the database. It's not just about only SQL, and there are a lot many new technologies, upcoming technologies are there. Even there is one more technology other than SQL, an advanced SQL thing is their programming language, PLSQL. I'm not sure if you guys have known about it. So there is one more called PLSQL, where you can write codes like Java. For example, so if you take this application, this is a front end, very simple example I have given. So there is an username, password, and in the backend you have the password username. So once you are entering into the username and password, click login. So two ways you can fetch the data. One is like writing a native query into the Java, where actually the SQL query will be there in the Java side and it will fetch the values from backend, and then you can validate it with the values in the Java side. They will validate it. If that works, then they will allow to move to the next page. Else you can do is a simple way. You can write a procedure in the backend with the Oracle PLSQL, so which will get the input as input username and password. It will take the username and it will actually go and pick the password and give it to this one. So it is just it's calling of just one procedure and we are getting it. This is a simple way, but if you are getting lots of data and lots of validations we have to do, in those sense, what we can do the same things in Oracle PLSQL itself. For example, like as you all know that Java side, you are doing like we are creating procedures, iterations are there, if loops, whatever, many things are there. We are actually doing a program. The same thing we can do it in Oracle side as well. The database side as well we can do. This is a simple example which I have shown you to people. So this is a hello world, everything we know that if you are starting with any programming, just we are starting with hello world only. So just I'm showing this for an example, like how we will declare it in Java. We can declare the variables and we can display it and we can check it. So this is kind of a procedures which we used it in Oracle PLSQL. Like we are getting the user IDs, and suppose that user cred is the table name, and that user ID is that this one. We are getting as an input, and the password will be fetched with the select query. The select that password, we are selecting it, and we are just passing back to the user. So this is when I'm seeing just password, it is looking very simple. But if you're going to add any other validations on these things, so suppose before entering to the password, I'm just going to check the password username, how it should be. Is it a valid user ID or not? So those many if you want to add any more checks also you can do. So when program goes bigger, so at that time it will be good actually. Like instead of writing in Java, if you just call this procedure, you see how simple it is. We're just going to call a procedure, and that is going to do all the validations, whatever you do. Just if everything satisfies, then it just picks and sends the actual value. So this, so as like Java, you can do something in Oracle PLSQL also. So if you guys are really interested, you guys can go and see the Oracle PLSQL. Even tutorial pointers there, and W3 schools, Oracle in Oracle websites also you can see. There are a lot many things are there. You can go and check out. This will be really helpful for you guys if you know already Java, and there is an Oracle PLSQL programming is there in the backend. So to enter into if you want to go to Oracle also, you can easily enter into it. It's not that big thing actually to enter into Oracle or some big companies. All you need to know is what is the company is actually expecting. So you need to know the technologies. So it's easy to crack actually, I will say. So it is Oracle PLSQL. So in the tutorial point, this is a very basic thing of learning actually. So I would say lots of other Oracle tutorials are there. You can go through, like whatever you are doing, like in Java, you can learn it in Oracle side also. Like you have loops, and you have collections as well. Like procedures are there, the functions are there, the cursors, like which is used to fetch the bulk of data, and how we can process it, like how we are handling it in the Java side. From the DB side also we can handle the exceptions and a lot many things, and the triggers, these things, as you all already know from the database side. Like if something getting triggered, if some audit purpose, we can do all these things. Like suppose if somebody is entering the data or getting deleted from the database, so how to monitor those who did that. So for those things, like trigger kind of things, which will be mostly useful. So you guys can just go into this if anybody is interested to make their path in Oracle side and the database side. So instead, one is the basic thing is SQL. You need to know, as you all know, that a simple table things. This is how we are studying in the engineering side. So that is the very basics. So table, creating a table, how to enter a data, how to delete a data, how to the truncating data. It is not just only the data. Even though you are entering the data into it, if there is a lot many data, then how to fetch it properly. The performance matters. So you suppose you could have dumped 1 crore or 2 crore data into a table, but when you are fetching it, if actually the query is very bad, then it will be very slow actually. The application will also slow down. So how to tune the query actually. The query tuning is also important. How to fetch these things. The indexing will be there. The tables are there. How to index those tables, so that if you are writing a select query, so how fast the data will be get fetched from the database. These are all the things you can learn actually. So from the Oracle side, there are lots of tutorials are there. Even in YouTube, if you go and see, there are many small videos. If you couldn't understand any concepts, like simple concepts with the example, they have explained it. So small things you can start one by one, and easily we will be able to prepare it. It will be an additional thing for you guys. If you go and see in the Naukri, you will be finding many opportunities for Oracle side, Oracle PLSQL side. If you are knowing the Java as well, there are plenty of opportunities. You are knowing this thing, Java side or anyone front end side, and as well as the backend application languages, and also know little bit about Unix things. These are very basic things. Yeah, I would say there are lots of future technologies are there. Still, the basic things, if we know, once you enter into whatever new technologies comes, all comes from the basics actually, I would say. So you guys should know the basic of the programs also. So from Oracle PLSQL, you guys can learn into, so which is actually good. So lot many companies are also using. Okay, so from the database side, we all know that. So what we are going to, we are storing the data and we are retrieving it and giving to the front end. So this is how, is it the only just storing the data and getting and showing to them? Other than this, there are a lot many things we can do with the data, right? So the world is now growing with lots of data. So if you go to a Flipkart or Amazon, there are logs are there. They are having lot many logs. So if you see it as a log, it is just not for anything. But if you are taking it and extract it and to some good format, so you can use it for an analytical things actually. So what they can do, so suppose if they are taking the logs and they are finding out for how many users are coming, so which are all products they are actually getting this purchased, and which is most wanted purchased things. These are all things. If you go into a Flipkart or Amazon things, once you have watched some products or something, so you can see that when you go to the next time, the lot many products, something related to your last search will be showing up. So how they are predicting all these things, how they are showing these things to you all is like analytics, and they are getting your data and processing it. They know what is customer is expecting. So what is next in database? So as you all know that SQL is there, PLSQL is there, so database is there, normal applications we are using. So where we are going in the next of database side is called big data. So big data is actually for if there is a small amount of data, so then it will be easy to store it somewhere, and it will be easy for analyzing it and giving it to the applications. For the normal applications which we are using right now in the day-to-day things, in the companies which they are using, for them is Oracle or the small RDBMS. This is more than enough, because they are not going to be much analytical side. Actually, they are not going to store more data. So something limited amount of data, and which they can truncate also. Like after 3 months or something, if it is getting closed or something, we don't want that. You can leave it. So if you're going for the big data, why the technology, big data and Hadoop, these things emerging, and what we are going to do it with this in future is, so suppose if you see Facebook or Amazon or these things, and if you go side financial side also, like there are a lot many companies which they are doing analytics with funds. We are investing in some funds. So there are financial companies are there. What they are actually doing is like they are getting the customer, they are managing their portfolios. In the sense, portfolio in the sense, it may be it may be in a money format, it may be your properties. So once you have some money, so what you will think to invest only. So if you are going to invest it, you need to know where to invest. So if I'm investing in these things, will I get return? How, which one will give best benefit for me? So these are all things. How they are going to do is, they are taking the actual data in the current timing. What are all companies are there? What is about how they are performing right now? The statistics of the companies, they are taking it, and they are deriving it from that one. Which one will give a better performance? If you're investing in this company, in the next year, you will be getting more benefits. Many companies are this financial companies who helps for these things, trading companies, they are doing all these things. So there are lot many things which can be do from the big data side. So like from the big data side, if you want to go into, so there are two ways are there. One is like you're going into the development side, or another wise you're going into the data scientist in that fields. So what is development side and what is data scientist or something? So the actual developers are who actually gets the data suppose if it is a huge amount of data, so first what you have to do, you have to get all those data, you have to store it, and you should convert it into the way how those data can be used for the analytical things. Suppose with the log you cannot do anything, right? You have to transform into some such a format that which will be useful for the scientific data scientist who actually get those data and analyzing it and preparing some output, some predictions. So from the Hadoop side, what all technologies are there, what all tools are there? You can see lots of tools are there from the data developer sites. You can know, like, I'm just giving a small intro about like Hadoop. So it's Hadoop is all about like it's an open source architecture which will be useful to get the data to store and process a bulk amount of data. So if it is in a huge, so what they are doing is they are storing into many nodes, and they are processing it with the MapReduce functions. Suppose so the HDFS is the actual data Hadoop distributed file system where we are actually storing all those data. So which will be more like it's a commodity software, very commodity software. You can things you can store it, which will give actually a less amount than what we are storing it in the RDBMS. Actually, we can store it, and MapReduce functions are actually that it's Java based, and which is running on top of the HDFS to crunch the data and fetch it because it's a huge amount of data. So the MapReduce functions are running to fetch those data. This is how it is a key value per thing actually it is working on. So it is there, and this is a Zookeeper thing. Hello. So the Zookeeper, it is a kind of admin tool, you can say. So which is like a lot many applications are there, like a Pig, Hive. These are all things once we get the data, how to process it. So like if I'm storing it into the database, suppose you need some tools, right? If Oracle SQL developer or Toad or a PLSQL developer, some tools you will be using it to process those data, like a Hive or Pig, something is interfaces which you will use it for connecting with the Hadoop architecture and processing it. So these are some tools, and the Spark is something like data science side, what I said. So the Spark, so we left it in the Spark, I hope. So once you get the data, first you will store it in the database, and the MapReduce things which will be used to process it, I said. So the Spark is the advanced technology which is faster than the MapReduce. What is actually the MapReduce things is doing. So Spark can do that very faster. Like if it is doing it in a 1 minute, the Spark might be very fast than that one actually. So they are actually temporarily storing it and their things, and the memory and how they are processing the data, the compared to the MapReduce is faster actually. So like other than this Hadoop, HDFS, like HBase and Kafka, lot many databases are also they are providing to store the data and how to process the data. So these are some things you can learn it actually. Suppose if you want to go learn Hadoop, there are Edureka is there, and some other Edureka and one more Cloudera, I think. So some are there. You can go and see they are conducting actually lot many tutorials are there, and they are giving sessions for 3 months or 4 months. They have the packages actually. You can go and get those things, and you can learn it if you actually want to go into development side. I'm saying, suppose if you don't want to go into development side, and I am not interested in this developments, getting the data, pulling into it and transferring, writing code, these things. So not much into that one. There are other opportunities there. You can go into data scientist. So where you have to know like this Python things you need to know, and this some Tableau or kind of because once you are getting the data and processing it, it will not be that much understandable. So once you're showing it to the customer, you need to show it in some representations so that the customer will be able to understand it very easily. Suppose for a finance industry, so there are a lot many things. Suppose if you take a finance industry, they are handling more of funds. So what they do, they will have the customers. So they will invest. They will these companies will maintain their portfolio. They will give the suggestions that invest in where we can invest it, which will give more interest, more return to us. So these are all the things we need to do. So for that, so if a customer is approaching those kind of companies, what they need to do is like they should have some representations like, okay, these are all the actual data. So these are all the statistics now. So if you are investing in these things, you may get so many of benefits. So what is the actual in last 2 years how it performed? So right now how it is performing. In future how they are, how it can be with the current data, how they are doing. These things actually will get it from the logs and the current statistics. Then they will reproduce it. So while displaying to the customer, you need to be shown in like tabular form or some diagrams or statistics or charts. So which will increase the show the growth, how it will be in the future or those things. So what if you want to go into the statistic, is not just only about the programming in the Java, Python or these things. You need to know the statistics. There are courses are available. There are like how we are doing MBAs. You can do in the statistics also. You can do actually. You will be more learning into the mathematical side as well the analytical, how you have to be, and from the coding side, like you need to know the Java as well. Java, not Java, the SQL as well. So SQL things, basics you need to know, and Python you can learn, and R programming is there, tabular things, lots of tools are there. These things you will get knowledge actually. So these are some things you can know. So a developer thing you can go, else scientific things, and other than this, there are admin roles as well. Even though if you are taking up other normal thing also, there will be 2 or 3 things. Right? One is a developer will be there, and testers will be there, administrators will be there. So like that here also administrators will be there, who is actually maintaining all these applications, configuration things which we are doing in the Hadoop things. That also we can do actually. So this is all about the big data and the data scientist. If you want to enter into it, you can go. So other than this, some of the future technologies which I would like to say is first thing we have already discussed. It's big data, data science, Python, these things, and machine learning things are going on, which you can learn about, and cloud computing, the AWS, Amazon Web Services. So the cloud computing is all about like, so suppose if you're going, if you're starting a new companies, so what you have to do is like, you have to get all the tools and things which you are going to use it in the system. You have to purchase everything and you have to install it. But in the cloud nowadays, everything going online. So the companies are providing, it will be hosted in the cloud, and which can be which they will serve you. So we can get the service from the cloud, which will be used for the companies. It's like centralized cloud we can store it. So these are cloud computing is also growing actually, a well growing phase right now. I think you can see in Oracle. I think in the next month or next to next month, I think there are a lot many programs they are arranging for the cloud computing. You can just go check out to the Oracle. So you can find a lot many cloud computing things as well, and artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence in the sense like, now they are making the applications to work like a man. Suppose if you go to a customer care, mostly the customer care, the persons are right now. So they are actually taking the calls from the customers. They are are giving the suggestion to the people. Nowadays, you could have seen that when you are calling to a customer care, there will be a automated call or some application itself. It will suggest you what to do, how to do, what kind of answer you are giving. With that one, it will process it and what data you are wanting. Like that way, it will suggesting you things. If you go to companies like suppose if you are going to a new company and you might not know much actually, like which portal we have to go and search this data, that data. And suppose if I want to apply for a leave or the company related applications, company related data, if you want to know something, there are lots of intelligent robots also they are introducing it. If you in Tech Mahindra, there is an robot you can see, so which will actually take the data. If you're going, I have to apply for leave or I have to change the birthday or birth date of this one, it is wrong, where I should go on this thing. They will, that will automatically give you the link. So instead of setting some person who can actually sit and do these things, they are automating it so that the robots, which the people actually does that right now, Oracle this automations also they are doing right now. So in artificial intelligence side, you can learn if you are interested. And RPA. So RPA is that it is kind of it is also an automation. So what they are actually do in the sense, suppose if you go to a once you enter into the IT companies, like you can see some projects, what they do the support work, and which will be a routine work actually. Suppose if it is a non-technical project, some projects will be there. What they used to do is like they will do some repeated work in the sense, suppose from the finance industry, if you take a billing team, so what they used to do every month, suppose every month starting, they are taking all the invoices, means bills, what are getting generated, and to which whom we have to send it. So suppose if you are doing it automatically, so if you are doing it manually, so we have to take all those data manually and fetch these data and send it. Suppose if you make an automation, like every first month we have to do these things. So if in UiPath and Blue Prism, there are tools are there. Like this is a simple example I'm saying. There are a lot many what all you are facing it as day-to-day life is a repetitive work, which can be automated so that the manual power will be reduced. So the RPA is something the almost every companies are started using, because they are thinking of reducing the manpower and the unwanted things, which can be more smartly moved into automated. And the money, it is a money cost reductive work for all the companies actually. So from RPA side also, there are lots of opportunities. You can learn UiPath and Blue Prism, other applications you can see actually. And blockchain is something which right now it is growing. Even I'm not aware of that much actually in the blockchain side, but it is something I just wanted to say. You guys can go and check out. It is something right now it is started booming, and if somebody is interested, we can learn that. And cyber security as well, yeah, companies security is more important. And the preaching of data, if you should not lose any data. So there every companies are more giving more importance to the data actually. They should not the data leak should not be there. That is the most thing. Then the cyber security side you can learn. And internet of things, these are the future technologies which are right now booming. So what I will suggest you guys, like you just go and see all the technologies. Like before you are going to a movie, you are just seeing an in the YouTube you are getting a trailer and seeing it, right? So what is this? What is that? So some people will like romantic movies, some people will like the horror movies, or some people will like some other family oriented movies. Like that, because once somebody will like something like that in technologies also, there are you just go and explore it, like just know first what is big data and what is this cloud computing is all about, and what is this robotic. There are lot many videos are in YouTube. First I will suggest you guys to get an overview, then you take which one you are finding it interesting to me. So some people will like big data, some people will like RPA, some people will find interesting in cyber security or blockchain or whatever it may be. So there are a lot many technologies are there, but it's all lies on what you like and where your interest lies actually. So that is all about just I wanted to convey. So it's time for questions. I think I have almost covered everything. I think, yeah, we are good to go for questions if anything.
Dear participants, if you have any queries that can be posted in the chat box, or you can unmute and ask your questions. Venkatesh, are you here? Speaker has got some network issues. So thanks for your participation, and I would like to post my thanks to the speaker as well, Mr. Engineer Venkatesh, Senior Software Developer and Database Engineer in Free State Corporation, Bangalore. Our sincere thanks to the speaker as well as to the Management and Alumni Association and to all the participants and the coordinators. Yeah, have you joined, Venkatesh?
Hello?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, audible. Yeah. Okay. Just now I posted my thanks. Participants, if you would like to have, we are very sorry for the network issues and sorry for the inconvenience. If you would like to have any questions from your side, you can post it in the chat box or to the speaker. I think there are no more questions from them from their side. If any posted in the Telegram, I'll just post it to you. You can reply back. Venkatesh, you can also join our Telegram group so that you can interact with the participants if they have any queries. And I would like to accord my sincere thanks to Venkatesh for having accepting. Yeah.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for inviting me for this session. Actually, I'm really glad and feeling honored actually. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thanks for everyone who joined this session and listened to me patiently this much time. And thanks for all the disconnects, some unexpected issues. So thank you for everyone, and I wish you all a good future. If you have any doubts related to this, please anything can get back to me. Thank you so much.
Rachita, would you like to ask any question? Rachita? Okay, fine. One of the participants had our student only, like fine. Thanks, Venkatesh, for joining us. You gave a good insight on the database technologies. We're very happy and proud that our alumni are here as speakers. It's just a proud moment for all of the faculty members and the management of Francis Xavier Engineering College, and post my thanks on behalf of Alumni Association of the Francis Xavier Engineering College as well. Thank you so much, Venkatesh, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
are hoping to have your support in future as well for the department as well as for the institution.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Have a great career ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.